Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of On the Couch. I'm Adam.
I'm Jessica.
And today we're going to watch another video that one of us hasn't seen yet, and then we're going to review it with our own opinions, some facts, maybe some math thrown in, scientific study, so on and so forth.
And we wanted to let you in on the process of how we pick movies. We wrote down on tiny pieces of paper, like this, different movies that one of us hasn't seen, and we've put them in this lovely hat, and we just draw one.
Picking.
So last week I picked, so this week he gets to pick from the hat.
This week we're watching
Drumroll.
Casino.
Excellent. Do we own that?
Yes.
Oh good, we own it!
Pretty sure we own Casino.
This time I have not seen the movie. So what's it about?
It is a classic mafia movie.
Because all mafia movies are classic.
They're not all classic.
They're
Some
all
of them
classic.
are crap. Some mafia movies are crap. This one's not crap. It's awesome. It's got Scarface and Marv from Home Alone are in it. Are the two main mafiosos.
This is clearly a favorite.
And it's a story about how the mafia moved into Las Vegas and took over casinos.
Okay. Well, let's watch this and we'll report back with our opinions, which will probably be different. So.
All right, we'll see you in like 4 hours.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's a long one.
Of course it is, because all classic mafia movies are long ones.
Yeah, because you got to give the whole family history.
Okay, Beowulf.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Oh man, so what'd you think?
It was super boring. It was 3 hours of predictability.
I will say that, yeah, you're right. It is a long movie. It's 3 hours long, but it's Martin Scorsese, and most of his movies are long.
Which is fine, and that's forgivable if it's enjoyable to watch.
I think it is, especially if you're like a fan of Martin Scorsese, because he does a lot of like world building. Like he gets into some very like minute details of all these characters and the places, and it's like he's very good at that sort of that concept of world building. I think that's part of why it's a 3-hour movie.
And the detail is great. The actors did a good job. The sets are good. The costumes are good. There's like nothing in it that really makes me go, that's a bad movie. But there's nothing in it that makes me go, that's a really great movie. It's just one of those movies that all of the elements are there and they kind of work together. Like it's not like this element is good and this other element is also good, but they're part of this different movies. Like everything's cohesive. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not big on mafia movies.
That's fair, but would you at least be willing to consider the fact that it's a good movie that you didn't particularly enjoy?
Yeah, objectively, it's a good movie. It's just boring and pointless.
Boring in some spots, yeah, I'll give you that, but it's
no,
not
like
really.
in all of them, even when there's violence, it's like, saw that coming.
I don't think I saw it coming. At least maybe not the first time I saw it. And I will say, as far as like Joe Pesci's character, who was like the main muscle in the movie, like I think he's the reason anyone would ever watch the movie. He makes the movie.
But distracting from Joe Pesci's performance are the hair pieces.
What hair pieces?
Yeah, I do not buy that that's his real hair. And maybe it was, because it was the 80s, and he was theoretically younger than when I saw him in Home Alone.
Yeah.
But in Home Alone, he's bald, and in this, it looks like he's wearing a hairpiece the entire time.
Well, it's also possible that he, lost his hair in between this and Home Alone. No, this was actually filmed in 1995. So this was either the same time.
So it's a bad hairpiece. You've just proven my argument.
Either that or he's wearing a bald cap in Home Alone.
That's unlikely.
Why?
Because this looks like fake hair and he looks genuinely bald in Home Alone. So there's one of two things. This is a hairpiece in Casino, or the hair person in Home Alone was more qualified than the person from Casino in Martin Scorsese movie.
Okay, even if that's true, well, like, what difference does it make? It's still objectively a good movie.
Objectively, it's a good movie. The hair pieces are distracting. Sharon Stone's hair pieces, equally distracting.
She had horrible hair in that
it's
movie. Ugly hair.
And it's not like the wigs were bad pieces, it's just like, what's happening here? Like, especially towards the end, when we get towards, like, the late 70s, early 80s, when the story progresses, like, it's just, what's happening here?
I think it's early 80s. I think it goes from, like, the 60s, like, early 60s to early 80s. I think it spans, like, 20 years.
It can't span 20 years. Look at the age of their child. The child is maybe 10 at the end.
Okay, that might be, like, a loop, like a hole in the script.
What do we call those? That you complained about so vigorously in Up?
I don't remember.
But why is it not okay for Up to have these issues, but it's okay
Up
for
had
Casino?
Up had horrible, glaring issues that just didn't make sense. This you can chalk up to an oversight. This is one mistake versus hundreds.
Okay, there weren't hundreds of mistakes. Okay, we're gonna go back to Casino instead of reviewing Up. We did that. We argued about that movie last week. As you can see, we're still arguing about it. I don't know. I mean, I'd say see Casino. It's good, but you're probably gonna play on your phone through it. I didn't. I'm very proud of that.
A couple of times I had to wake you up and make sure you were actually watching the movie.
That's how boring it is.
It's not boring. It's classic mafia movie.
It's boring.
It's not. No, it's classic mafia movie. I mean, if you like that type of classic mafia movie, then yeah, it's great. It's also a really well-told story. I like the fact that most of the story is told through narrations of the characters.
Oh, that reminds me. The constant voiceover is so irritating.
No, I liked it.
Irritating.
And these are some like landmark roles for these actors.
I know it is, and I really expected to enjoy it more, and I don't know. It fell flat for me. And I know all the reviews are good.
Yeah, it's got like 8.2 on IMDb.
Rotten Tomatoes said their score was 90%. No, their score is 80%, and the audience score is 93%. But yeah. I also read a review on there that I think kind of sums this up. Simultaneously quite watchable and passionless. And I think it's that lack of passion that makes it boring.
I think there's a lot of passion in this movie, especially between Sam and his wife. What's her face?
No, it's like when you've got a bunch of experts doing something and they're doing it well. It's just there's no joy in the movie, and I know there's not supposed to be a lot of joy. It's because it's not like a happy movie, but sometimes you watch movies even when they're depressing and you go, that person really loves their job. And I didn't feel that in this.
I think there's elements of it in the story if you look hard enough, especially like early on in the movie, Robert De Niro's character Sam Rothstein. If you notice, a lot of times he's lit, like his character is lit, like sort of from behind and above, which gives him a sort of like a halo effect around his head.
Okay.
And then as soon as he starts having marital troubles with his wife, they stop lighting him that way.
Well, right, but that's a technical choice. That is a lighting thing to help show this is how the character is feeling, this is how the character is developing, and how the story is developing. But the entire time, like, there's nothing happening in the actor's eyes outside of, I am acting this performance, and it's...
Well, there's also not a lot of, like, close-ups of, like, the characters' faces.
That's true.
In the entire movie, I think I counted maybe, like, one close-up of Joe Pesci, like, stabbing a guy.
So maybe that's part of it, and why people have described it as passionless.
Because you can't make like the character connection.
Because you aren't able to connect with it, because everything is having so few close-ups keeps the audience at a distance, and maybe somehow, and that kind of works for this, and it's also a drawback, because it's kind of one of those, like, you're looking back at this story, you're viewing it from a distance, both in time and, you know, there is a distance between the mafia world and our world, and the average person's world. But it kind of works against this because you don't feel for any of the characters. You aren't able to make that emotional connection because the camera keeps a distance, which kind of asks the audience to keep a distance.
That is a very well thought out and valid point.
He just thinks I'm wrong.
Yes, because I don't think you're intended to make an emotional connection with the characters, because I think it's more of like a cautionary tale. It's more about this group of people who were in Robert De Niro's character's Sam Rothstein. In his own words, like, they were given paradise and they messed it up. Like, they were given, you know, this wonderful world of Las Vegas, and through their own horrible choices, they made it up. And here you have all of them as characters narrating the story to us, the audience. And I took it that way, as sort of like, you know, hey, we were given this on a silver platter and we messed it up anyway, so take caution with this cautionary tale. That's how that works out.
Okay. I think both the narration and the camera and the distance from the characters, the lack of close-ups, keeps us at a distance.
I agree with you there, but there are also a lot of...
But some of the best cautionary tales are ones that you get emotionally involved in, because you can look at it and go, I understand why this character is making this decision. I understand, like, if I were them, I would probably make the same decision, and this movie just keeps you distant from that. But it's almost more effective when you can sort of put yourself in a character's shoes and be like, yes, I understand what you're doing. You don't necessarily have to like a character, but you can understand better than this, where it's just kind of, I don't know, the plot just kind of moved along because, like, of course it's going to go badly. There's gangsters and it's Las Vegas. Like, what do you expect it to do? Okay. Agree to disagree again?
I guess so. One of these days we're going to find a movie that we both like.
It's really unlikely, Internet. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe not today, but I'd say buy it on Blu-ray and DVD and digital download.
At most, rent it. Watch it before you spend more money on it.
I think we can both agree it's worth seeing at least once.
It's worth seeing at least once, yes. I will grant that on the basis that it is very well done.
Anyway, that was our thoughts on Casino. We both agree that you should watch it at least once so that you can say you've seen it or own it on all formats.
Not necessary.
Oh, yes.
I don't even think you like it that much.
I do. I like it. I think it's great.
But yeah, those are our thoughts on Casino. Comment below with your suggestions for movies. Like, share, and
subscribe.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.